The Nightbeat starts right now.
A wet and cold couple of nights for our area, but could it also be dangerous? Amidst the bitter cold, we're already seeing some cancellations and delays of flights into and out of San Antonio.
Now, the big story is really the hill country that could see potential for some icing. We have team coverage tonight. We expect to see this weather play out this week. Now, in the meantime, drivers and students, they're the ones who are watching this weather especially closely. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on our school closures and delays. You can scan this QR code to take you directly to the list on KSAT.com. We're always updating it. It includes colleges, area schools. Most of the impacted districts right now are in the hill country. We'll also be showing you the list of districts on the ticker at the bottom of our screen during this newscast. But now we're going to bring in our meteorologist, Adam Caskey. So, Adam, we're expecting light rain, but there is potential for icing up in the hill country, right?
Yeah, there is a potential for icing up in the hill country. That's where we'll have some of the issues out there. Far north of San Antonio, that's where the problems will basically reside. You look at the radar right now, we're zoomed in pretty tight over one neighborhood. Let's get the wider view so you can see what's happening. And there really isn't a whole lot of activity out there at the moment. It's all very light in nature. And also a lot of drizzle and mist out there, to be honest with you. Not a whole lot registering on the radar screen here. Not locally at the moment. You get up into the parts of the hill country, you see that pink, and that pink indicates the potential for a little bit of freezing rain, a light glaze out there, at least the potential for that light glaze. It doesn't mean it's actually happening, but there could be some. We've gotten some reports so far of elevated surfaces in parts of the hill country. We're talking even the Austin area over toward Kerrville, where we've had reports of some elevated surfaces, street signs, some tree limbs starting to get some ice developing on them. But it's very light in nature right now and not problematic. One reason it's not problematic is because of road temperatures. Now, road temperatures are still above freezing. Air temperatures may be below freezing, but you look at the road temperatures and they are in the mid-30s in some locations, 33 degrees upper Kerr County and Gillespie County. You get to Bernie, road temperatures are 37. Bulverde, road temperatures about 37. Even northern Bexar County around Stone Oak, road temperatures at 39 degrees. That's what's making the difference right now. That will be changing gradually in the hours ahead, especially as we go into the next couple of days. Road conditions right now, just wet. That's the key. For now, considered wet. This will be changing. We'll talk about the overall impacts, how high of an impact, what it means, how much icing, where we could see power outages, and break it down for you across the area in just a bit. Our Sarah Spivey was up in Bernie checking things out. She's got the latest from there.
We are in Bernie right now at the Patrick Heath Public Library, which will act as a warming center for those who need a warm place to stay from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. both Tuesday and Wednesday. And everyone is going to need a warm place to be because in the hill country, we expect ice to really be an issue. In fact, here in Bernie, we're already seeing a glazing of ice on the trees and some elevated surfaces like street signs. So coming up tomorrow on GMSA, we're going to be live in Bernie, keeping track of the icy situation as it unfolds. Again, conditions are expected to worsen overnight and especially Tuesday morning and definitely on Wednesday morning. So I hope you'll join us on GMSA. Reporting from Bernie, I'm meteorologist Sarah Spivey.
We are also keeping a close eye on San Antonio's International Airport. A live look out there tonight. A couple of Delta flights were delayed into San Antonio. A Frontier flight canceled, but many of the canceled flights are coming from Southwest. Southwest Airlines says San Antonio and Austin among a dozen cities impacted by the winter weather. It's arrivals and departures from San Antonio. They expect that impact to last through Wednesday. So be sure to keep up with any of your flights in the next few days.
So now we want to talk about the roads. While TxDOT crews sprayed that salty brine on major roadways, Bexar County crews used a beet juice mixture and a layer of rocks along bridges. It's supposed to be less corrosive and also reduces just how much salt ends up being used. Now, this is the first time the county is using it on a wide scale. But here's the thing. Even with those pre-treated roads, TxDOT is recommending that drivers stay put and just avoid traveling unless they have to. So here's something to consider before you hit the road. The night team's Patty Santos spoke with a local mechanic. Patty joins us now. So Patty, he says that there are things that drivers need to do during this type of weather.
Well, this is antifreeze, and it helps regulate your vehicle's engine during any extreme weather, whether it's cold or extremely hot. It costs about $10, and really this is the beginning of how you can begin to prepare your vehicle for the next few days.
The cold temperatures ahead shouldn't be a problem for those who properly maintain and inspect their vehicles.
Yeah, those are streaky wiper blades,
says Chad Miller.
I think the average vehicle now is 12 years old.
Miller explains a poorly serviced vehicle might stall during extreme temperatures.
So if you haven't had your coolant changed, you're not changing your oil, maybe your battery is 3 years or more older, it will. No, those are pretty good.
Before you drive off, make sure your windshield wipers are working. Next,
check your windshield washer fluid.
Adding a special agent or even rubbing alcohol, he says, can help keep the windshield washer fluid from freezing.
They're all going to have a logo, a windshield with the spray logo.
Low tire pressure and worn out tires can cause your wheels to slip during wet conditions.
Right there is a wear bar, that little bump right there between the treads, so they have plenty of tread on that.
He says if your vehicle is not in tip-top shape, you might just consider staying home.
And beyond that, he says prolonged cold days can really have an impact on things like water pumps and radiators. So he says the best thing you can do is towards the spring, have your vehicle fully checked to make sure that everything's okay as we prepare for the next extreme weather, probably in the summer. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Patty. You can track your weather on your phone. Just scan the QR code to download the KSAT weather app. All the data put in by our local meteorologist, so it's tailored to our area. You can also check in with meteorologist Adam Caskey, like we're going to do in just a few minutes.
Now we're going to switch gears to another big story. He's accused of murdering his wife, and today he took the stand in his own defense. Air Force Major Andre McDonald admitted to a jury that he and his wife fought, but he said that his wife Andreen attacked him first. He claims that Andreen was having an affair and trying to start a business with his assets. In February of 2019, Andre says the couple argued all day before that fight turned fatal.
When she comes, she's like throwing like some punches. In between the scuffle, I remember like grabbing her and like tripping her over one of my legs, and then she like falls, and that's when I kick her like twice when she fell.
Andre McDonald claims that he panicked after he saw his wife wasn't breathing and tried to get rid of the evidence. He says that then he got angry.
I poured like the gas on her, and then I lit the fire. I started like, hitting the body with the hammer. How many times? Honestly, I couldn't tell you, but it was multiple times. I thought I was done, but as I'm like trying to like walk away, I give it like one more whack.
Right now, he faces a murder charge, but it is possible that a lesser charge of manslaughter could also be added. Deliberations could happen as soon as tomorrow. We're going to continue to follow this trial on air and online, and also our KSAT Plus streaming app and YouTube channel.
Look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. A San Antonio mother bought a billboard in hopes of finding the person who murdered her son and his friend. A $5,000 reward offered in this case. 15-year-old Angel Ray Garcia and his friend were shot back in July. This was at a Southside apartment complex off Pleasanton Road. Still no arrests in this case. The billboard sits just 1 block away from where that shooting took place. Jessica Ramirez, hopeful someone will anonymously call Crime Stoppers and help bring justice. President Joe Biden plans to lift the COVID-19 national and public health emergencies this spring, and it will have an impact along the border. The White House says the end of COVID-19 emergency orders will end May 11th. Along with that will come the end of Title 42. The measure used the pandemic to turn asylum seekers away at the border. The White House says President Biden supports an orderly, predictable wind down of Title 42, allowing enough time to establish alternative policies. And the Federal Reserve expected to raise interest rates for the 8th time in a row. That means the cost of borrowing money would rise even higher. The Fed expected to meet on Wednesday. Economists predict a smaller increase than in the past, likely a quarter point. Wednesday's meeting will also likely shed some light onto what the Fed's plan for the rest of the year is. as they try and bring down inflation. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
Tonight, several families of the Robb Elementary School victims are fighting a new documentary that's focused on the shooting. And now those against the film's release are taking action against the director.
I regret not researching on this man before doing an interview. That's my greatest regret.
Robbed is scheduled to premiere this Friday, but that may not happen in Uvalde, the one thing that could sway a local theater owner.
Friday, we reported that KSAT 12 sports director Greg SIMMONS was arrested on suspicion of DWI. Today, Greg has decided to resign. He shared this statement with us, quote, "For the past 42 years, I have had the honor of working with the best in the business while sharing my passion for sports in our community with all of you. I'm overwhelmed and humbled by the love and support from family, friends, and viewers in light of recent events. I have resigned from my role as sports director at KSAT 12. I am grateful for the opportunity this brings to focus on my health and wellness and what the future will bring." End quote. We'll be right back.
Tonight, a documentary on the Robb Elementary School shooting will no longer be shown in a Uvalde movie theater after outrage from the victims' families.
Yeah, many of them saw the film before its official release on Friday. They tell the Night Team's Lee Waldman they feel manipulated and used by the film's director.
Before the airing of what's now being called a controversial documentary, families of all 21 Robb Elementary victims signed these cease and desist orders for the film's director, Charlie Min.
I don't want this video out. I don't want it out.
I don't either. It's going to bring back memories, and we don't want that. Horrible memories.
Most of the families watched Robb for the first time today. We're not showing clips out of respect. The documentary includes interviews from 6 child survivors in room 112. They shared graphic details of what they experienced and saw. Details Felicia Martinez and Evadulia Orta didn't want to hear about the last moments of their sons, Xavier and Rogelio.
Hearing the kids' stories is
bringing us back to that day.
Ruben Torres Jr.'s daughter, Chloe, shared her story of survival. Her 911 calls were played twice. While he understands why the families of the victims don't want the movie to go forward, he does.
I think it needs to be out there, especially here in our community, so they can see, the failures of the law enforcement, the school system.
A week prior, many of the victims' families started speaking out about the film online, stating they believed they were misled by Min. The backlash prompted this statement from San Antonio-based theater chain Santikos, quote, "Considering all the families involved and affected by this horrific act and the recency of the entire incident, we have concluded it is inappropriate to show this film at this time," unquote. Min defended his work today, saying Robbed is victim-driven and does not mention the killer's name.
I don't expect them to like the film. Who would like a film that talks about their son or daughter being murdered? To me, the most important thing as a documentary filmmaker is, do they understand the film and are they more informed?
When asked about the criticism, Min says he stands by his film. Meanwhile, the victims' families say they will continue to fight its release. They hope instead of watching it, people will take the time to learn about their loved ones.
My child's life revolves around the baseball games, the basketball games, the playing football with his brothers. Like, that's what my son's life revolves around. Happiness and love,
family, playing with the kids, his cousins, and
not death and not sadness.
The owner of Forum 6 Theaters says that the documentary will no longer be shown in any of his theaters because more than half of the families who saw it today requested it not be. In Uvalde, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
And now we're going to take a live look. This is at our airport where, you don't see a lot of action there right now, and that is by design. A number of flights have been canceled. Delta canceled a few flights or delayed a few flights. Frontier canceled one, but the majority of cancellations we're seeing from Southwest Airlines, not just here, but also in Austin and in Dallas.
One of their big hubs, Dallas Love Field, and they are having some major issues up there tonight.
All right, so there's so much that we have to get through with the areas that are going to be affected. So just give us a run through, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to start with the gist gist of it all, and this is what you can expect in the coming days. A cold rain off and on through Wednesday night, even lingering into Thursday morning for some folks. That's going to lead to hill country icing and travel troubles, even northern Bexar County. We'll get to that in a moment. But then by Thursday into the afternoon, the sun returns and temperatures warm back up to 50 degrees. So here's the freezing rain impacts. You see this brightest pink color indicating minor impacts and this darker pink indicating the major impacts. So northern Bexar County, 1604 and northward, we're talking up to about Guadalupe River, just minor impacts. But I want to focus on the major impacts, which are the hill country, this darkest pink color. Up to 3/4 of an inch of ice by midday Wednesday. A slow, gradual icing situation, which I do think will be at its worst tomorrow night on into Wednesday morning. Travel becoming dangerous, power outages likely. You get that heavy ice on top of tree limbs and even power lines, and then they tend to sag and break after a little while. So that's the main impact up in the hill country, a good portion of the hill country. Now, once you get a little closer to San Antonio, this brighter pink, say around Bernie, Fair Oaks Ranch, Bulverde, Timberwood Park, Bandera, almost into Pipe Creek, that's the moderate impact. So icy elevated surfaces and even some surface roads will have ice as well. There will be some travel troubles and isolated power outages possible in that area. Then we get to the minor impact zone, and that includes Stone Oak, even areas around the Rim and Helotes, over toward Medina Lake, Garden Ridge, New Braunfels, Marion, Seguin. And this is minimal icing. We're talking just some elevated surfaces. When I say elevated surfaces, some bridges and overpasses, but especially street signs, some limbs and some leaves out there, you know, those elevated and exposed surfaces. All right, you look at the radar right now, not much happening. It's still damp outside because we had that drizzle and mist, but really not a whole lot to speak of in terms of real rainfall or radar echoes. The pink on the radar, you'll see this in the coming days, indicates where we could have some of that freezing rain, and that would be the rain that freezes on contact. When it comes to the precipitation type, this is what we're talking about here. And we're only going to be dealing with rain and freezing rain. Freezing rain is when we have warmer air above us. From 2,000 feet up, it's about 50 degrees. It's warm water up there. But there's this little shallow layer about 2,000 feet thick of freezing to even sub-freezing temperatures, and that's what's going to be converting some of those raindrops into ice once they make contact with those elevated surfaces and, of course, even some surface roads as well. So that's what we'll be dealing with in terms of the freezing rain situation, and really no sleet, no snow, nothing else than cold rain and some freezing rain out there. But what's working in our favor right now, I showed you those road temperatures earlier. Road temperatures are above freezing. Air temperatures in the hill country now below freezing, and that is causing the glaze on some handrails, some elevated surfaces, the street signs and such. But those roads will slowly be cooling down in the hill country throughout the morning tomorrow, the rest of the day. Most of the problems should be coming Tuesday night on into Wednesday in the hill country.
All right, thank you. All
right, tonight was a game I really thought the Spurs, Larry, had a chance.
They started off hot, and it looked like they were going to have a chance, but unfortunately, the Wizards won in San Antonio for the first time in a very long time. And after the game, Pop gave a very quick post-game reaction, just like he did a few days ago at the Clippers. And in girls high school basketball, Clark looks like a very tough team to beat once again. Coming up.
Zone always kind of mucks things up, especially for teams that move a lot like we do and cut and backdoors and everything. And so, yeah, we got to work on that.
Prepared for the Wizards' zone defense tonight in Big Board Sports. Spurs hosting the Wizards tonight, and San Antonio charged out with a lot of energy. First quarter, Katie Bates-Diop steals the Wizards' pass, gives it to Keldon Johnson at the other end, and he feeds Jeremy Sohan for a slam dunk. Spurs lead 7-5. More Keldon. He pokes the bad pass right to Zach Collins, who passes to Trey Jones, who plays alley-oop to Sohan for a slam dunk and one, 21-15 SA. He had 15 points in the first quarter alone. Closing second, Stanley Johnson steals the inbounds pass for some jam, and the Spurs led 36-30 after one. But Washington won the second quarter 33-19 to lead 63-55 at halftime. Third quarter now, Spurs are down 7 when Malachi Brannon steals the ball and then passes it ahead to Trey for a layup as the Spurs get within 5, 76-71. Down 14 now, Doug McDermott gets 3 of them back or right there, and San Antonio trailed 98-87 after 3 quarters. Fourth frame, Sohan goes bounce pass to McDermott. He misses, but Zach Collins tips it in. The Spurs trailed 104-96, but the Wizards hold strong to beat the Spurs 127-106, earning their first win in San Antonio since December of 1999 at the Alamo Dome. After the game, Coach Pop only had one comment.
Well, they're doing what they can. It's one of those games. We have more fast break points. We had more second chance points. We had fewer turnovers. We had more points in the paint, but shot 20-something from 3, and they shot, I don't know what it says, 50 or something like that. Game over.
Good night, Pop. The Spurs will next host the Sacramento Kings Wednesday, 7 p.m. at the AT&T Center. Big District 28 6A matchup in girls basketball tonight. 13-0 Clark taking on 12-1 Johnson. Cougars start fast. Cameron Griffin gets the baseline jumper of the fall. That caps a 10-0 Clark run to open the game. Johnson gets their first points moments later. Julia Plata knocks down a long 3 to make it a 7-point game, but Clark pulls away from there. Natalie Huff goes coast to coast for the land. The Cougars lead 35-11 at halftime, and they win at 67-21.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
San Francisco 49ers rookie quarterback Brock Purdy is out for 6 months with a torn ligament in his right elbow, as reported by ESPN. He suffered the injury yesterday with 7:03 left in the first quarter of the Niners' loss to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Purdy will seek more medical opinions to see if he needs surgery, which the Niners are recommending. Less than 24 hours after Kellen Moore and the Dallas Cowboys mutually agreed to part ways, the Los Angeles Chargers agreed to terms to hire Moore as their new offensive coordinator today. Moore is 33 years old and will take over an offense led by young quarterback Justin Herbert. He's replacing Joe Lombardi, who was fired after the Chargers' wild card playoff loss to the Jaguars. Super Bowl 57 will see 2 former Texas high school quarterbacks take center stage, and Chiefs QB Patrick Mahomes and Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. Mahomes played at White House High School, and Hurts played for his dad at Channelview. Mahomes has already played in 2 Super Bowls with a 1-1 record. Now this will mark the first Super Bowl appearance for Hurts. Kansas City head coach Andy Reid, meanwhile, will next face Philly, where he was their head coach from 1999 to 2012 before taking over in KC in 2013. And Reid isn't letting his own history get in the way of his preparation.
When it's kickoff, you're playing that team. I mean, it's the players that you're going against, and the coaches, and so the uniform, all that. It's not that's not where your mind's at. Your mind's at making sure you have a solid game plan and that you come out and you can perform.
A first in Super Bowl history is about to go down after the break. Welcome back. When the Eagles and Chiefs clash in Super Bowl 57, Travis and Jason Kelce would become the first brothers to play each other in Super Bowl history. Jason is a veteran center for the Eagles, while Travis is a star tight end for the Chiefs. Their parents have seen each of their boys win NFL championships, and now they'll watch them in the Super Bowl.
Haven't talked to him yet, but cool scenario to be in. My mom can't lose. I'll just leave it at that. It's going to be an amazing feeling playing against him. And, obviously I respect everybody over there in the Eagles organization. And you won't see me talking too much trash because of how much respect and how much I love my brother. But it's definitely going to be an emotional game. That's for sure.
My mom can't lose.
I wonder if she's going to cut up like a jersey to stitch it in half.
They already showed her. Yeah, she's got one.
Yeah, she's got one.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Half Eagles, half Chiefs.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Obviously, lots of changes as we continue to track this winter weather. Some schools have actually canceled or even delayed classes, and we have them all listed for you right now on KSAT.com. Also, join us on GMSA tomorrow morning.
Be careful out there.